All right, everyone. How are you doing today? William Biz from Free Power here. So glad you could join my channel. Got some good news for you again today. This time, hey, this is about Steve Frambo. Once again, he's on a new podcast, so we are going to get right into this baby.
I'm really trying to reason right. Let's take our time and choose whether we green or yellow, whether we deep or shallow. Please me now, 'cause we're about to lose. Whether we buy or hello, whether we stay or jello.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Got some good information for you. Steve Frambo is on another podcast, and this time what I did was I cut a lot of the stuff that we already know out, and we're just going to listen to basically the second half of this podcast, and it's where he's talking about different things, starting the company back up. But I thought what was most interesting was he's also going to bring out about who the Aptera is actually for. And for those people, we know that they are going to really be excited to get this vehicle. So let's go ahead and listen to this podcast. It's a little lengthy. It's about 8 minutes long. So let's listen to this baby.
So tell me how did you guys even start talking? Take me in the conversation. Let's start this again. Let's go back to this thing.
Actually, I think it might have started with our lobbyist, Dwayne Gibson, who was in town and just, wanted to reconnect.
And just to be clear, you had a lobbyist that you hired to work in Washington, D.C. to focus on on loans and subsidies that the government was offering to electric car makers.
Correct. It help us navigate the waters. When you're connected with someone like that, it's not just about sort of lobbying for loans and programs. It's also making sure you have a seat at the table with different regulatory bodies, or that you have the right legal oversight, protection and certain regulatory affairs. And so we were just sort of kicking around the idea, saying, look, that who is there? There's just Tesla, really. There's no one else, and why is that? And everything is just an electrified car. It's not really designed. It doesn't appear to be designed from scratch as an electric vehicle.
Right.
And we, Chris, of course, owning this battery company and us talking about it, the numbers, and said, well, with the new technology, how many batteries could we fit in, an Aptera anyway? And so we just started doing some back of the napkin calculations. Said, with these new batteries, we could fit 100 kilowatt hours in that vehicle, and 100 watt hours per mile, which is what we achieved with the old Aptera, about 95 watt hours per mile, which is extremely efficient. That would be 1,000 miles. And so that kind of it made our eyes open, because we knew from some little bit of research that we'd done that range wasn't the most, but it was a very important factor in deciding to buy an electric car, or which electric car people wanted to buy. And if you could control the range factor, then you could really control a significant part of the market. And that was our premise: is how do we blow up range? How do we own range? And we do that with efficiency, and that was really the genesis of the restart.
Welcome back to How I Built This Lab. I'm Guy Raz, and my guest is Steve Fambro, the founder of Aptera Motors. So basically, you decide, still make it an electric vehicle, but it'll have solar panels all over it as an additional source of power.
Correct. You plug it in like normal if you want, but most people won't ever have to, because here in Southern California, you'll probably get about 11,000 miles a year of free charge. So
just by leaving it outside, it's just going to get powered by the sun.
That's right.
And that'll give it about up to 40 miles of range just from solar energy.
That's right.
And that's because this is a small and efficient vehicle. because I imagine that the technology around solar just isn't quite there yet to power, a 1-ton vehicle.
You're right. You're looking at 25% or so conversion efficiency, once it's all sort of encapsulated in the matrix. And if you try to do this, to any large electric vehicle, it's barely going to budge, the needle. So the advantage of designing for efficiency and being a brand that's really grounded in efficiency above all else is that these kind of things become possible. And we can use a smaller battery pack. It's gonna mean less cells and less cost for the battery, and hopefully a lower cost to the consumer, more range, less charge time, et cetera, et cetera. That's the direction that we push stuff. It's to push to more and more efficient, using less and less energy along the way. How do we keep reducing the amount of energy that the vehicle uses while expanding the amount that we're producing on the solar panels?
So let's talk about the car. I mean, obviously now it's the landscape is very different from 2005 when you started. It's a different environment. You're seeing a lot of Model 3 Teslas all over the United States now. You're seeing a lot of the Kias, sort of a lower price point. You're seeing obviously Chevy, and then the Ford F-150 Lightning is out there. You got the Rivians. You've got a lot of companies. Hyundai are in the game now, in the electric car game. Who is this for? Who is this car going to appeal to? It's a different kind of vehicle. It's a two-seater, and it's so what part of the market are you targeting?
Well, Aptera as a brand and the Aptera as a product are going to appeal to people who want a kind of freedom, a freedom of mobility, a freedom to go and to move without being encumbered either by a charge cord or having to pay for electricity. That freedom from the old way of doing things is really what Aptera is about. There's lots of electric car choices out there, and lots of electrified cars that are just steel boxes with electric components shoved in them. Those are all great products for different customers, and they'll sell lots of them. But that's not what we're about. We're about solar mobility, and we're about giving that freedom to people. And the first vehicle that you see, of course, a two-seater, that's the tip of the sword. But there's a product portfolio and vehicles that are coming behind that are going to embody the same ethos and double down and triple down on efficiency and solar. So, expect to see a family of vehicles from Aptera where this is a first, but all of them are going to have the same promise of kind of solar freedom and solar mobility.
So I think the majority of daily commutes are under like 40 miles. So in theory, right, if you're just driving a couple miles to the office, maybe the grocery store and home, and like solar power alone could power the car. But what about parts of the country where it's not as sunny, or on days when it's not sunny at all? Does the car store the solar power, the solar energy?
Yes, it'll still charge. It might only charge 10 miles worth or 12 miles worth or something like that if it's overcast or in a northern latitude, and so the way to think about it is, are you plugging it in once every 6 months? Are you plugging it in once every month? That's how it's going to impact people. It's whether you get 30 miles a day, 40 miles a day, the launch vehicle is going to get around 400 miles range. It's really just going to affect, are you plugging it in monthly or maybe every 2 weeks or something like that. So that's how that difference in daily solar charge is going to manifest.
You also are, the body of the car is different. It's a carbon fiber body. And so, it kind of looks like, there are these like velo racing bicycles, right? It's almost like this aerodynamic, like, teardrop isn't the right description as you said earlier, but it's sort of like that. Is that also, does that also enable it to, does that enable the range? The weight of the material, for example?
Well, it is a combination of both. The drag, the low drag, which, the shape, the very curvaceous, shark-like shape, and the lightweight is, both of those are what really enable the efficiency. And the lightweight comes from composites. Now, the challenge with composites and the challenge with how we were doing them before and how Chris was doing with his boat company, it's very labor intensive and it doesn't really scale. And so what we wanted was a process that we could stamp them out like you would stamp out steel pieces and produce them as fast as you would a steel car. And that's what took us to Italy, to CPC. Our partners have devised a very high throughput process which to my knowledge, no one else in the world has this capacity and this ability to produce parts every 4 to 6 minutes, just like you were producing a steel part. So it's a strong composite thermoplastic, but without any of the hand labor and the waste and the cutting and the materials and all that other stuff. It's just produces a nice part that comes right out of the mold, ready to be vinyl wrapped or just used without having to paint. So it's a radically different way of producing the vehicle. There's only 6
Wow.
structural pieces. And so being able to build the vehicle from 6 pieces, it's just an order of magnitude simplification of tooling, fixtures, etc.
All right, well, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what Chris was saying here, and of course, you could give me your thoughts as well. And I do want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. And with this podcast here, where he's talking about the type of people that he's making the Aptera for is basically to give them the freedom that they want, away from the gas pump, away from the electric plug, and that is really significant in my book. Because for those that like to go out camping or like to travel and sit on the side of the road for a while without having to worry about getting to a destination, we know that with the solar power, they can actually regenerate power for their battery, for their vehicle, without having to look for a plug. And of course, there are campsites where you could go to that you could just park on the side and enjoy yourself and let your kids go out and have fun. Of course, if you need to, we know that there are also plugs there as well. Plus, he also brought out that the two-seater is really just the tip of the sword. So they're coming out with other vehicles as well. No doubt they're going to come out with a four-door. They're going to come out with an SUV. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with a truck, a van. And what was interesting was, and I'll have to bring this out, I already did a video about this, but I could do another one when they get ready to start to come out with these things, possibly an 18-wheeler too. But the best thing is that all of them will be solar powered, and we know that the efficiency of the solar panels are actually becoming much better. So you could get more range with less solar power. So that's really good news. The Aptera family is really doing a lot for this company, and kudos to Steve and Chris. You guys are awesome. You guys are really cranking this baby up and getting ready to mass produce the Aptera, and I can't wait. Oh gosh, I can't wait. You guys are awesome. I truly appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody out there feels the same way, because I know there are a lot of Aptera lovers out there. But we do appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you so much. Please hurry up and get this baby out. That's all we ask. The sooner the better. But all right, we're going to take a look at the accelerator program. And once again, give me your feedback on this. I do want to hear from you. All right, so I got to tell you up front that I am not a financial advisor as we go to the accelerator program. This is the website you go to if you want to invest in Aptera. I don't expect any movements, but hey, they surprised me before, and I'm sure they'll surprise me again. But the movement that we have today, it looks like, oh, well, yeah, look at that, look at that, look at that. I'm telling you, way to go, Aptera. These guys have actually added another investor, and they are on a pause. They've been on a pause for almost 2 months. Oh, man, way to go, Aptera. Look at these guys rock. How can you not put your trust in a company like this? People are still investing, and they're almost at the 20 million mark. So yes, way to go, Aptera. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the webpage you want to come to if you have $10,000 you want to invest in Aptera and or more, and you could go here, invest in, and get on the board to become an owner of one of 2,000 LE editions that will actually be numbered. So that would be something nice to get into. However, if you just want to invest in Aptera and get your vehicle designed the way you want to, you could click on to this link right here, and that will actually take $70 off the price. You hit that, that'll take you to the web page where you can actually design your own Aptera. And it's only $70 down. It's all refundable. So you're not really losing anything, even if you go ahead and put down on getting you an Aptera. But I'm telling you, this company is really going to take the world by storm. This vehicle is going to make the biggest paradigm shift in the auto industry that has ever hit the world. And it is going to make leaps and bounds. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. So let me just throw this back out there. I'm not a financial advisor. So if you do invest in Aptera, don't look at me. I can only advise myself. If you want a financial advisor, go ahead and you could either look one up on the internet, or you more than likely, if you got $10,000 or more, you probably have your own advisor anyway. So look to your financial advisor and see if this is the company that you want to invest in. But man, this company is really going to do some things, and I'm just so glad that I'm a part of this company. Anyway, let me give a shout out. If you're new here, hit the like, ring the bell, subscribe. You catch all my new videos that's coming out. And I just gonna, hey, my patrons, you guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. You keep me going. And I just love Aptera. And I'm gonna talk about them as best as I can and as much as I can. But thank you, Steve, for doing the podcast and good information. I actually have another one that's coming out where he's going to talk about some very interesting things, so you don't want to miss it. All right, so everybody take care. You enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Somewhere on the scene, it got a little longer, so it seems. I burned out, so to speak. Now come a little closer. I feel a little light in the light track. I felt a bit of bad, but I came back. There's still a little light in the light crack. Still a bit of good, so good. And I know just what to say. And I know just what to do. And I'm so sick of pain. But it's all too quick with you. Losing this game, I can't afford to be losing this game. And I know it's the same as bad. Losing my mind, can't find the words, no, I can't seem to find. But I'm really trying again. Reason rhyme, let's take our time and choose whether we win or yellow, whether we did or shallow. Please me now, 'cause we're about to lose. Whether we buy or hello, whether we stay or jello. Sometimes funny me. A little bit of gasoline. I burned out, so to speak. Come a little closer. Here's some disclosure. Do you mind to quit your pretending truth or